Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Obscure Joe PT, and for today what I have in here it is one of the most requested games lately, Darksiders 3. So this game it is developed by the Gunfire Games. It's not actually the same developers as the Darksiders 1 and Darksiders 2, which both of them were developed by the Video Games. This one is developed by these Gunfire Games. It's a recent team. This recent team was also responsible for the Darksiders 2 Deafening Edition, so yeah, this is pretty much a new team. Actually, they aren't even using the same engine as the first two games. They are using Unreal Engine 4 instead of the in-house Video Games. So for the settings, I will be using my custom resolution, the 960 by 540, and I decided to use a mix between low and medium settings. I'm using anti-aliasing on medium, anti-aliasing on medium, shadows on medium, anti-aliasing on medium, and foliage on medium. Because if I disabled shadows or put shadows on low, I mean, what I get is it's this massive bad looking asset. So it's just a crap, you know. If I disable shadows, if I disable foliage, the world feels really flat, and I don't think it's really necessary to run the game. So here it is, this is the results. First I tried the game at 720p with the low settings, which was awfully bad looking. The average was 26 frames per second, I don't think it was enough. Then I reduced it to my custom resolution and tried medium. It wasn't still above 30 frames per second. Low, this mix between the low and medium settings, I got an average of 32 with a 1% low of 23. I think it's quite acceptable. And with the low settings with this resolution, which is awful, I got an experience always above 30 frames per second. So in the end, if you disable shadows and foliage and stuff like that, this game always run above 30 frames per second, which is pretty good, but it is so bad looking that I can't really cope with those graphics. So I prefer to use this kind of mix between low and medium. Okay, so you get shadows, you get foliage, you get a small revamp in anti-aliasing, and comparing to the full medium settings, you are still lacking motion blur, you are still lacking screen space reflections and a bit of occlusion, but I think the game looks pretty good and it runs fine overall. It will run above 30 frames per second, but there will be moments where it will drop from 30s, moments with a lot of particles and effects going on. You will see a frame rate dip down to 25 frames per second, or sometimes something even lower, but it's just for a 1 or 2 seconds, so I think it's pretty playable. The game is very good looking, and it's not really bad optimized, just like people have been saying, or that I've been reading. I think the game it's just nice, okay, it is just fine. Now about the game itself, I think Steam users are not really happy, aren't really too much happy about this game. So the developers of this game, yes, did change, but also the core game did change a little bit. It's still Darksiders, and the fighting system, it is still mostly Darksiders, okay, it's still hack and slash. But unfortunately there are some things that did change. The first one, it is the level of difficulty. The game is now much more difficult. It follows some of the stuff from Dark Souls, like the Exos flasks that you use to heal yourself. The checkpoint stuff from the Dark Souls. Every time you die you go very very far back, just like Dark Souls. And yeah, there are some stuff that it's straight copy from Dark Souls, and it kind of mixes it up with the gameplay, the core gameplay of Darksiders 1 and Darksiders 2. There is still possibilities to go back on the map, just like the old Darksiders. So yeah, it's kind of a mix between Dark Souls and Darksiders, but the problem is most of the people are not really too much happy about it, you know, because there are some quirks with the fighting system. For example, it's not as responsive as the old ones. Every time you try to do attack over another, or if you want to cancel an attack, you can't. You need to watch the animation until the end and suffer then the consequences of going to the end when you wanted to cancel that attack. So there are a lot of quirks that could be a little bit more revamped. There are some quirks too with the main character. I have seen some complaints about the fact that she's an idiot and she's a stupid badass. that it's hard to relate with. So I'm not really sure about it because I just played a little bit of the game, so I can't really talk about it, okay? But in the graphics department and in optimization, I think the game, it is what it is expected. It runs fine overall. The graphics, it is what it is expected, and I was expecting far worse since this game it is using Unreal Engine 4, okay? So I think that's all I want to talk about of this Darksiders 3. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of this first boss battle, and I do hope to see you soon. Thank you a lot for watching until now. Goodbye, guys.
What's mine is mine! Better than I imagined.
Pretty. Come and get it.